double check, make sure we're live. You know, I got a co-producer that's supposed to do this shit, but
I'm working on it.
Is this on Facebook or
yo,
are you putting it up? That way I can share it too.
just want to make sure. There we are. We are live. We are fucking live. So on Facebook it's private until we're done, and then I have to set it to public.
Okay.
So yeah, welcome, episode 15, Sample the Heat. All my Sample the Heaters out there. Joining us today, guest friend, DJ, pal, Ray Diaz. You know him as DJ Exel. You've seen him in places like Old School Fridays, on and off over at the casino. In the middle or after some of our concerts now. So you'll catch him doing various Cinco de Mayo parties across the city, like some of the best ones and biggest ones. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
You excited?
Oh, yeah.
You nervous?
Yeah, can't you tell?
You good with hot sauce?
I love hot sauce.
All right,
That's all,
all right.
I'm about it, bro.
So out of like 10 Mexicans that I've asked, I've only got 2 of them to get to do the show. You being the second one.
Well, I'm not Mexican, though.
Puerto Rican.
Same difference,
whatever.
yeah.
Whatever.
Goddamn Germans, you know? Well, you're Italian. You're Rossi, right? So it's Italian, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Italian.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Goddamn
Forget
well.
about it.
No,
So
just
cheers.
kidding. Cheers.
All right, well, let's get this party started here. First one we're going to do, Forelli. It's Italian hot sauce. We're going to go right back to my roots here. It's a hot sauce originally made for pizza, but I find
we had it on pizza, remember?
Yeah.
We did it at
Over at
Stubborn
Stubborn
Brothers.
Which is next week's episode.
Ooh.
Live from Stubborn Brothers.
It's going to be good.
So this one, virtually no heat. Just
I like the
all
flavor
around.
on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I like these boards. These things are dope.
Yeah, shout out to Carl Really. Log cabin wood turning. For those. As I mentioned before, you're a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been DJing for? What got you into it?
Wow. I started in 95, 96. And just really, I've always loved music. My dad was a musician. He played in a band, a Latin band, when before I was born, and even after he did part-time. My mom was in radio, so I grew up around all these different artists and just grew up around music. A buddy of mine, I'm originally, I was born in Puerto Rico, but I grew up in the Bronx. And a buddy of mine had a set of turntables, and one day after school we went to his house, and he was showing them to me, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. And I really didn't get into it until I started listening to more like electronic music, old school techno and stuff like that from there was a station in New York, WKTU, which was like all dance music and all that kind of stuff. So that my older cousin, he got me into, because he was always into techno and everything, and I started listening to, like, man, this is nice. So I ended up getting myself a set of turntables and a couple of vinyl records to start off with, and to try to learn, and going from here to there, talking to different DJs that are already established in the club scene, and that got me started. Then being in the Bronx, birthplace of hip hop.
Absolutely.
I had to, I started hanging out with all these other guys that were they were hip hop heads, straight up, and so going to, like, doing different house parties and hanging out with those guys, and they were on the decks and they were doing stuff that normally just see straight mixing in at the clubs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just saw, some cutting and scratching and all that stuff, and I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? It was already hard enough trying to mix 2 tracks together on vinyl without knowing anything, and then I saw these guys doing body tricks and just crazy stuff, and I was like, I want to do that. So that's just how it began. It kind of started the journey, just being around it.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Hold up, Rob, for a second.
What?
You were lagging really bad. Like, I've been getting blown up by text already.
What, it's like lagging, skipping?
Like lagging, stuttering, like audio looks great. It's just basically freezing and skipping.
Interesting.
And your CPU is at, it's at 45% now.
Well, that's not bad.
But your Your frames per second keeps jumping.
Interesting. Well, we're just gonna roll with this. If it's bear with us. If it's real bad, I'm just gonna upload the recording. Maybe the recording comes through a little bit better.
Technical difficulties.
Emotional damage. So we're just gonna roll with it. If it's really bad, when I go back to watch the live stream, we'll upload the recording. The recording should be fine. This is probably just a streaming issue, hopefully. Testing out some new features. Like if you guys don't notice, the camera quality should be a little bit better. But if we're getting frame rate issues, maybe I gotta dumb down the 1080p and go back to 720. So I don't know. We'll roll through here. So coming up next, we've got Larry's Hot Pussy Juice.
I just love the name. Like, I don't care what the sauce says. It just tastes like, it's like...
Yeah, we've done this the last couple episodes. We're thinking about. I was thinking about changing this one out, but man, it's just a good all around sauce. It's kind of like a Worcestershire barbecue.
Is it?
Yeah. Again, very low on the heat profile, so you can use plenty of it. Careful, it is very kind of watery. Okay. It comes out quick.
Well, you know, it is pussy juice.
Yeah, I know.
Right, was I allowed to say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
You can say whatever you want.
All right. It's pretty good.
Tasty sauce.
All right, it was the barbecue on it.
As you mentioned on the last question, you lived in the Bronx. You lived out there in the New York.
Yeah.
What was life like living in New York?
Oh man, it was amazing. Growing up, man, it was fun. It was exciting. You know, you could say dangerous, but you didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I grew up on the streets, you know, with street people, and so that was just life. You know, it was what it was. But it's fun, man. It was all hanging out, you know, especially when when I was older in my teenage years, you know, with the DJ and everything, you know, endless house parties, and that was one of the big things that you don't see anymore was the house parties, man. You know, you had like 50, 60 people in, you know, a very small apartment because everything out there is smaller, you know?
Right.
And just packed, you know, and some of the best parties I've ever been to was some of the best DJs I've ever seen in my life. Like, these guys are doing crazy stuff. Not nationally known, nothing like that. It was just, you know, guys from the block just throwing down, but it was insane.
I bet the underground vibe out there was like out of control, because I know how the underground vibe was in this area. There's a lot of people that I am only underground. I am not a sellout. I'm not going to the bar in this club, this club. You want to see me play? I'm playing at Dirk's house in the basement, like for his 21st birthday party.
Those are the best parties, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the best parties, man.
Well, even to today, when we even see a bigger DJ in a smaller venue, it's much more intimate, and he gets to play. I mean, me and you went and saw
Mixmaster
Mike up in Detroit. There was like 40 of us.
Yes.
That was it.
But that was such a good.
I mean, we walked right up and high-fived the motherfucker. Like,
dude,
like,
remember that?
Yeah.
He was on like 9 out of 10 dudes on 20, man.
20. Well, and he just opened up for what, Metallica?
He just opened up for Metallica.
He was Lion Stadium. Yeah, and then he comes over here and plays for like 40 people and just says
killed it. I was just like, and then my favorite thing, bending the record and grab the. He was a showman. That's the big thing I love about him. He was a showman. He was there to give a show, and he's there. Grabs the mixer upside down and starts. Man,
goes nuts. Just goes nuts. He just let loose.
Technically, though, like. His timing is just out of this world, because it's hard enough being sober and doing that. Now you're messed up and doing it, and you're doing body tricks and everything with it's just
unreal.
He was unreal. He is from another planet, man. That dude's like, he's not.
They talk about that on the Scratch documentary. You know what I mean? Like Kubert says more about it, but like they're one and the same people. But it's insane. I got a funny story about bending a record. So like you ever get one of them records, like you go and buy like a 12-inch single, and the one side spins a little faster than the other ones because it's warped up a little bit. So you give it a little twist, and it kind of normalizes the record. So I'm out playing with Nathan Mattimo. I don't know if you watch, but giving you a shout out. We're out at, I don't know where, I think we were at Attic in the winter, so we weren't out on the patio, we were inside, right? And he's like, this record just spins too quick on this one side, so it's hard for me to track it. And I was just like, I was like, I got this trick. You just give it a quick bend and like it catches up. He goes to bend it, whole record shatters. It's like one of 20 copies, white label, like, and I just sat
that's
there,
the
like,
worst.
dude, my heart hit my feet, like, and
That's the
I can't
worst.
imagine. But funny story. So moving right along, third sauce in the lineup. We got the butt plug release sauce.
Butt plug. I love these names though. Like,
I'm telling you, like I keep buying them for their names, and I'm expecting to get a nasty sauce. Like I'm expecting to get something nasty because the name was too good. But all of them so far have been fantastic. But we got 2 more in the lineup tonight that are brand new to the game. I know one's not going to disappoint, but I'm really unsure about the other one.
all right. Does come out fast, just like
Really? Something a lot of people don't know about you. You're a vet.
Yeah.
Where'd you serve? Who'd you serve for?
I joined the Navy right out of
In the Navy.
yeah. Right out of high school. I was originally something a lot of people don't know about me. I got my black belt in Taekwondo when I was 13,
Oh, nice.
and I competed point tournaments nationally, and I also competed in state Taekwondo. So
Fucking Karate Kid over here.
yeah, well, years ago, but I can't lift my leg over my waist anymore. But and if I do, that's probably the last thing I'm gonna be doing for the day. But yeah, so they had a just like a whoop,
Whoa, we're dying.
man, all
We're
kinds
dying.
of. Hey, the
Jesus.
gremlins are out today, bro. The
Jesus,
gremlins.
we're losing everything here. Forget this thing. Rob, thanks for the banner. I'll figure out a better way to hang that damn thing up. You'll see it over at Stubborn Brothers next week. Jesus. Technical difficulties, visual difficulties.
I think I brought the gremlins with me today.
Ray, you here? This is the last time you do
Nah,
this show.
hey, all right, hey, we're gonna make it fun then. Forget it.
I'm
You don't want
tapping
to
out.
remember.
I'm just gonna tap out on this one. Like Jesus Christ. All right.
So you got pushed forward. So yeah, I joined the military high school because they had just like they have boxing. They have a Navy boxing team. At the time, they had a Taekwondo team.
Oh.
They had the federation is called WTF, which is World Taekwondo. There's many different federations, but the one that's recognized by Korea, that the ones that you see at the Olympics, it's the World Taekwondo Federation, and the headquarters is called Kukikwan, which is right in Seoul, Korea. There's a big because to them Taekwondo is like baseball to the U.S.
Sure.
Well, not football because I think football did baseball for the national pastime, but so that's what it is to them. So it's like a government-sponsored deal. So I got my accreditation through the WTF for Grandmaster Tiger Kim. This guy's a legend. Passed away many years ago, but he was a legend back in Korea. So, long story short, I didn't want to go to college at the time because I would have just, it would have been a waste of money because I was just not into it at the time. So I was like, well, I got to do something, and I just didn't want to get a rinky-dink job or be on the street doing stupid stuff. So I was like, well, the recruiters came by and started talking and found out there was a Taekwondo team. So I was like, hell yeah, man, I'll join, because that's, if you do that and then you join and you qualify because you have to try for the team, which I knew I wouldn't have a problem getting on the team. That's what you do your career there. Like that's what you're on that team. That's what you do full time. You train and you compete representing the Navy. Just like the boxers and the musicians, and they have all kinds of different programs. Well, so just so happened, once I got out of boot camp, I had the tryout set up, but the coach ended up retiring. He was a master chief. He ended up retiring, and they didn't have anybody fill his position. So they ended up doing away with the program. So I ended up doing my 4 years on the ship. We were stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, or as they like to call it, Norfolk, Virginia. We were actually supposed to be stationed because we were part of the amphibious assault crew. So we carried I was on an LPD, which carried Marines. And so we were actually supposed to be stationed in Little Creek, which is right next to Virginia Beach. And it's also where the SEAL teams and spec warfare for the East Coast, their headquarters are. So, but they didn't have enough space, so we were technically moored over in Norfolk, but we were out of Little Creek's command. Okay. So it just didn't, it was a parking space issue. So I was there, did two tours overseas. I actually was I was there for Kosovo. So the Kosovo Liberation, whatever they did. I was there for that, and then did a couple police maneuvers or whatever. The Roosevelt Roads in Puerto Rico thing that they had a bunch of protesters on the island. We ended up going there with the U.S. Marshal Service and the Coast Guard. Did some operations in Canada, and then when my time came up, which I tell you, it's really crazy. My end of enlistment date. Okay, so I was done. I actually left that day, and I was staying in a hotel, getting ready to fly back to New York. Was September 10th, 2001.
Oh.
So I wake up the next morning, and I look on the news, and all this stuff's going on. The first plane already hit, but I didn't know about the second plane. And then the second plane hits, and I said, "Oh shit, I'm going back," you know. But I never got called back. It was yeah. So yeah, that was my time in the military.
Wow, God,
Yeah.
like you were just like, whoop,
Yeah, I was like,
scoot
yeah,
on
man.
out of here.
I'm like, I've been fun, you know. And then all of a sudden, boom, and I'm like, oh hell no. I actually ended up going up the next day the following after the 12th, so it would have been the 12th. And it was still, everything was burning. You could still smell. It was a god awful, like, and I don't want to mess our food up, but it was like fire, like a burned.
Right.
But if you ever smelled like burned meat,
Right.
but it's different because it's flesh, it's human flesh. So it was just like this horrible burnt smell, and then all this other stuff because of the asbestos and whatever other stuff, you know, materials.
Sure.
It was still smoking. It was smoking for a good 2 weeks. Still.
I assume so.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad.
Moving right along, we're getting into dickhead sauce.
Dickhead.
Here we go. Talking about all that war stuff. A real pain in the ass. It's Osama bin Laden with a penis for a head.
Yeah.
It's your classic Verde. You're gonna love this.
Okay.
Just with a little extra kick to it. You can be very liberal with this.
Okay.
Like, just get it on.
I'm waiting for the one that you said it gets everybody is like the 100,000 or the 100 grand. I forgot.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Don't rush yourself.
It's like, pace yourself, huh? Just trying to get there before the gremlins get to us. I mean, good lord.
So from New York,
Yeah.
served for the Navy, Taekwondo ass kicker.
Yeah.
What brought you to Toledo?
That's a $100 million question. Well, what does every bad decision in a man's life contain? A woman. No offense. I forgot
Pussy
that.
juice?
That's right. Pussy juice. I get you every time. Buddy of mine from the Navy moved out here, married a girl from Genoa, ended up moving up to Pennsylvania, and he was inviting me over, and I was like, man, you know, I didn't know anything about Ohio. I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't know a damn thing. But I was like, Ohio, what the hell am I gonna do in Ohio? Like, what's that to do? Cornfields and shit? I didn't know, you know. Right. So, you know, anything to New Yorkers, anything west of Pennsylvania, or actually halfway through Pennsylvania, is all cornfields.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
You got cornfields, and then Seattle. Well, I was like, cornfields, Chicago, more cornfields, Seattle. So that's how we see it. You know, ain't nothing but cornfields out there.
Be cornfields, Chicago, potato fields.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It could be that. So I met a girl. She was from Perrysburg, or she is from Perrysburg. We ended up hitting it off and fell in love. I was actually working for the New York Yankees at the time. So I was doing team security for the New York Yankees. So I worked for them from the 2001 season, right after September 11th, all the way to 2003. Okay. So doing team security, taking care of the team when they were at home and the stadium and all that other stuff. So this was on the off season during the winter. My buddy, he's like, come on, whatever. And she was there. She was a friend of his wife, introduced us. We hit it off. And then in 2004, I decided to come out here. Met her, you know, quick whirlwind romance. Right. Knew each other for a year, got married. I bought a house in Perrysburg and moved out here in like end of 2005 end of 2004 going into 2005.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Wow.
interesting. Coming all the way over here for
Dude,
some...
yeah.
Yeah.
That pussy juice. Hey, the dickhead went after the pussy juice.
Oh, you just wait. Going next. Speaking of the dickhead. We got a new sauce. I gotta stop buying sauces. There's like 64 sauces in my fridge right now.
That's a beautiful thing.
After 15 episodes.
You got one sauce for every, because this is nice. This is
there's,
impressive.
There's definitely more
I love
of
this.
that
This
than
is-
sauce right now.
This is impressive.
Yeah, we'll tap into that after the show as a celebration. So we're bringing a Big Dick's very impressive hot sauce.
Yes.
Big Dick. I mean, look at that label.
That's a big dick.
It says chicks love big dicks. So it's the chickens. It's the chickens. It's the chickens. I don't know. So we're halfway through. This is sauce number 5.
This
so
must be the raunchiest episode you've done today, huh?
Ooh,
No?
that smells amazing.
Nah.
No,
Adam's back there. He's like, nah, it's
No.
no. All right.
this looks very fun.
What's it say on the...
I don't know. I didn't read it. It comes from Fire Food Merchants. Fireworks. Very impressive and sure to satisfy. Legends hot sauce. There's so many names on this thing. Mango, water, red habanero, rice wine, onions, carrots, lemon juice. There's all kinds of crap. Roll through the produce section. Throw it all in the blender. It's right there.
Nice. Legends, hot sauce. Very right. New Orleans. Fire Food Merchants, New Orleans.
Ray, you asked that question while I'm eating choke your chicken hot sauce over here in the green.
Choke your chicken, yes.
Adam, you're not on my Wi-Fi, are you?
Nope.
Okay. He'd be that dick. Your internet's bogging down.
That's actually pretty good.
You're just bugging down. Your Wi-Fi's slow as shit too.
He's like, got that new iPhone 10, got that
7G.
I got that. I'm trying to stream a 10K video while you watch it. Crazy bastard.
7G on a 4G bandwidth.
So, all right. So,
That's pretty good.
yeah, no, fantastic. Like I said, I've ordered some messed up named hot sauce, expecting to get something bad. And
Yeah, but it's
that's
tasty.
Yeah, we're
Very
ready.
tasty, yeah.
We're getting that heat.
Yeah.
We're starting to get that heat, which
Yeah.
is all right. Like, that's what we do this for. So going back into music, did you have a favorite gig? Did you have a favorite memory in DJing while you were in New York?
Oh man, there was so many. There was a club. Actually like a bar. It was a bar, but out there, the bars are like lounges out here. You know, they're friggin' huge. So this place was in Queens, and it was a block radius in New York is like a block, city block. So it was one end of the block was the right by the train station, or the entrance to the train was this place. It was called Blue 2. Then on the other end was this old bank that they converted, and it was they called it Bliss. And so they had just opened up, and it was like, I went in there, it was really nice or whatever. They had a DJ or whatever, but we ended up doing a night. My cousin was always with me. He was my go-to guy, my road guy, because back then it was all vinyl, so we had to get cases of vinyl, 10 stack high. I know. You know how it is. So it's like coming from the Bronx, and that was in Queens. So we ended up doing that night. It was Friday nights, and like I said, it wasn't a big place, but it would get packed. It got to the point that we got so popular there that there was a line to get into this place that stretched all the way to the actual nightclub. So the nightclub will get pissed off and send people over and be like, hey man, you can't have this line up. It's like, hey man, this is a street. They can line up wherever they want. You know what I mean? So we were outdoing the actual nightclub, and it was an old bank. I'm sorry, it wasn't Bliss. Was it Bliss? Yeah, it was Bliss. It was either Bliss or the Vault before that. It changed names a couple times. It was actually, they had like the stairway that came up, and because it was an old like 1920s style bank,
Right.
And the vault was still there. The door was there and everything. So the DJ booth was right in front of this vault. So, and it was 2 stairs coming up, and then you had security guard. I mean, this thing was like decked out. It was a beautiful, beautiful venue. But we were taking all their business. We were selling out. The guy had another business a couple blocks away, and I remember one night they ended up having to go. They had their van, the company van for the place, had to go and get stuff from the other bar to bring over because they were running out of stock. But they were open till 4, 4 or 5 in the morning.
Sure.
So it was different hours, but so it was like I'd start at 10:30, and then go till 4. But it was like they ran out of alcohol, and this happened like every week for like 5 weeks after that. It was just insane, and it was packed. They ended up having to do one person out, one person in, and that was one of my favorite gigs just because the place was awesome, the people were great, the staff was amazing, the owner was a really good guy, and it was just a really fun atmosphere, and kind of kicking the big club's ass felt good, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
we're in this smaller bar, and then you got a nightclubs that, and they're over there, so that was a fun place. I got to do Limelight when it was still Limelight before it and I just did a small set there. Central Fly, which I don't know what they call it now. Places change names. I got to do Central Fly. That was
They do that around here.
Yeah.
And then they just disappear.
yeah. I got to do Central Fly. That was a cool place. I'm trying to think. I forgot more places than I played. I jumped around a lot. There was a place in Brooklyn, very nice venue also. I don't remember what it was called. That was more of a lounge, so it was bigger. And they had a setup. The DJ was right next to the bar, so the bar was set up long ways, and then right to where the bar was, they had like a plexiglass type of divider thing, and it went all the way around. They had a booth. It was actually a booth for the DJ. So you were right around next to the bar, and they had a little door to go in, and
Cool.
so that was a nice place to play. I can't remember the name of the bar, but that was a nice place. Yeah, those were some. I've played some other places that were bigger names and nice, but the management was crappy, and
Sure.
you
get that,
it
you
wasn't.
get that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it wasn't in New York, but one of my favorite places to play ever was in Puerto Rico. I ended up going to Puerto Rico and got booked at Crash. It was a nightclub, and it was a gay night, LBGTQ, whatever it is called
Right.
now, nightclub at the time, and that was a fantastic audience. That was great. It was so cool because the booth was on the second level, and they had these chains that were coming down from the ceiling.
And that hung your turntables?
That hung the
Yeah, so
turntables on this,
vibration
like,
didn't-
yes,
yeah.
it was. Well, it was the deck was off. It wasn't like it was decking plate. It was thick plating, and it was put on the plating, and the plating was so heavy it wouldn't move. So the decks were on the plating, and that was a great night because those.
That's how Tampa Ybor City was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I played a place in Chicago when I lived there briefly. Spot 6 downtown did the same thing.
dude, it was like that was an amazing time because the place was like packed. That was another place that was just full. So that was fun. And plus, it was Puerto Rico, so you're the beach and
Yeah.
everything else. That was a good
Nothing
time.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Give you a reason to go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, they had a good time.
All right, so after Big Dicks, I thought we'd get into some bone sucking sauce.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, we'll see here. So this company actually makes a really good barbecue sauce. You can find it at House of Meats. It comes in a mason jar. They do a hot.
I thought I seen that
Yeah.
label or something like looked like. I was like, that looks familiar.
I can't get into this thing.
I don't know. The hot sauce with me. I'm hot.
All right, I'm gonna bring out the Mexican in me.
Take some water.
I'm trying not to cut myself. I'm live on air or live on Facebook here. There we go. We're good. Ray's inspiring in very many ways.
There you go.
So yeah, some bone sucking sauce. They said this was like a 7 out of 10. It sits about 6. It's hiccuping hot habanero. Smells fantastic. It's thick. I ain't scared. It's more like a barbecue. Tastes great. Got some heat. Come very delayed.
Yep.
Worst request ever.
Oh my God, there've been so many.
I know.
Hey, Macarena.
Yeah, that's not even. No, that's. I wish that's good compared to some of the others. I've had some like. Look.
Not even. I'm not even speaking like specific song. Like just worst request experience. Like
Oh, God.
we know how these go.
Oh man,
And these are entertaining for people who don't know.
I had who was it? It was I don't remember what. I was here in Toledo, but yeah, most of the bad request experiences have been Toledo.
White girl crazy.
Yeah. And it was a white girl. I think it was New Year's Eve or something. She came up and asked me something, and I was like, okay. And it had nothing to do with the dance floor was packed. You know, it didn't fit with the set that I was doing. So I was like, no, you know, I can't play that right now. It was something slow. Like, you know, party was going, it's something way out of left field. And I'm like, no, I can't play that right now. You know, I'm not going to empty a dance floor just for your request. It's like, whoa. And she's like, well, you suck and this and that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I suck. You know, no, you're right. And she just commenced on just hammering me down with, you know, just kept going, oh, you suck this and that and blah, blah, blah. She'd walk away and come back. You suck. Just kept going back and forth. She'd come back, you know, 5 minutes would go by, kept going by. You suck. You're the worst DJ ever. This and that and blah. And I'm like, okay.
Let me take a selfie.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, that's fine, you know. That was a pretty bad. I had an older
Then you married her.
Yeah. That's how it goes, see?
Oh, you're from Perrysburg, aren't you?
Yeah, the dickhead went after the pussy juice, see? But there was another one, this older guy asked for something, again, nothing to do with what was going on and with the vibe of what was going on. And this was the funny part. Oh, you know, my nephew's a DJ. I was like, well, that's cool, you know? He's like, yeah, you know him. He mentioned his name. I'm not mentioning his name, but that's my nephew. Yeah, he's like, and I was like, oh, cool, you know? And the guy's not a club jock. He's a wedding DJ, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. I can honestly say it wasn't him.
I'm just playing.
But well, hey, he's more club jock now, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, he's doing. Yeah,
he's doing both.
He's doing both.
Mad props.
So, he came on. He was like, hey, it's like this and that, and you know, my nephew would play the songs. Like, I'm sure he would, because he's probably at a wedding where you know it's appropriate to make these requests.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, but you know, if it was, I was like, where's your nephew playing tonight? He was like, well, he's off. I was like, obviously, the Saturday night he's off, right? So yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's just stuff like that. I was just thinking about those bad requests. Somebody put a post about that, and it's like, yeah, people. But you know what? I think requests, and this is something I'm gonna say, it's as much a lot of these DJs' fault as it is the people's fault, because they're allowing the requests to influence what they do.
What they're doing.
When I was in my prime, you could never touch a DJ. You couldn't even get close to the booth.
Right.
The booth was either elevated, they had 5 bodyguards around, or not bar, but security. You know, you couldn't get to the DJ to ask a request.
No, there was clubs around here when I was going clubbing. I mean, the DJ was either up, out of the way, or whatever. You'd write your request on a clipboard, and this guy would drag it up off the string when he has a minute, and go through, and he would pick the one or two songs out of the 10 that are on there to play, right?
Right.
And you don't get to talk to the DJ.
No.
Now you can walk right up to him. You can shove his turntables right off of the stage.
I still say you were very diplomatic on that, because that would have been the last thing that would have happened. Like, that wouldn't have ended good on my part.
Keeping myself out of jail.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because man, I'd be like this.
I got paid though. I got paid. I didn't even have to sue her. The city sued her.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. But it's bad that they can feel empowered to do stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to go out and have a good time, and you know, there's a reason why some people do this professionally. You know, and I think it's a disservice when DJs go out there and take all requests and any request just to please the people. Like, you know, I get it. I get there's pressure and all this other stuff, but you know, there's a post I read that made good points. You know, you're there doing a job. You know, if you're doing it right, you're not only you're seeing 3 songs in front of you, you're reading the room. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're a technical DJ, you're worrying about mixing and coming in on time, and you know, just like playing an instrument. If you're in a band and somebody's talking to you trying to request the next song while you're playing a riff on a guitar, they're gonna kick you in the face.
Yeah.
You know,
or they're just gonna, you're not there. You're not there to me.
But
are you gonna unplug him and kick his amp off stage?
Right. Or kick his guitar, or throw. You know,
it's a respect thing.
It is. And again, I think we've done it. We've let that happen. We do it to ourselves. There's a lot of lazy people, because like I've seen you perform, I've seen a lot of other DJs that I respect perform, and they're always busy doing something. But then there's other DJs that I see, you know, behind the decks or like on their laptop with laptop face going, you know,
Don't get me started on the microphone.
So, which again, I don't mind a microphone because I come from a place, you know, the MCs and
Sure.
the DJs. But again, it's you have to let that stuff go. You know, you gotta work. You're getting paid to do a job.
Yeah.
Do a job. Yeah. You know, it's not just come in and then it's. Some people realize it once they start DJing, like, oh, this might not be for me because all the other stuff that it entails. Yeah. It's a lot harder.
It's intense.
Easy. It's easy. It looks easy from the outside in, but once you're behind and everybody's all, you know, you're trying to do your job and what other job in the world do you have people that you're in your cubicle and other people on your, hey, you know, this report needs to be here. Like, I want this report, you know, all up you the whole time while you're at work. Yeah. No, but it happens with DJs.
Sure does.
So
awesome. All right. So bone sucking sauce right into Butthole Destroyer.
Yes, I've had that before.
You've had Butthole Destroyer or hot sauce for your butthole?
I think both.
Oh, all right.
I think it was Butthole Destroyer because I think you had hot sauce for the butthole out here, and the Butthole Destroyer was in there. It might have been the other way around. I don't know. I don't remember.
I keep forgetting you got to sit in on one of these.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. All right, whatever. Fuck it. You know, bitches around here.
Butthole Destroyer.
So real quickly, Omar says what's up. Meyer Van Dam.
Meyer.
That's
Omar.
my boy. Omar.
DJ Wushizi Davis says yo. And also John Howard La Prairie.
Nice.
CZ. What up, John? I forgot to come see you to get my hair did.
I got mine before he left.
Yeah.
I didn't make it out there.
Oh, shit. There's a heat.
I was hitting this one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the first one. It's not horrible heat, but.
Oh, it's coming.
He goes, it's coming.
Oh, Lord, it's coming.
Oh.
All right. So you're Prince fanatic. Tell me a bit about Prince. What do you love about Prince?
Nobody liked him. Nobody liked him. Hasn't been or will be. You know, once in every 5-6 generations. You know what I mean? I mean, who else? There's this whole thing about Prince versus Michael. There's no comparison. They were two
different animals.
They're two different animals. You know,
I mean, they're both human beings, but
correct. And I tell people this very simply. I say Michael was a people's artist. You know, he did what people wanted. He was very commercial. Prince was a musician's musician. You see what I'm saying? So. Yeah. You go to the two, they say, hey, Michael was a great performer, and he was great this and that. They don't talk about musicianship or anything like that. We talk about Prince. Oh, the guy was, and especially after he's passed away, he went from icon to godlike status. So anybody talks about Prince now is like in reverence. You know, all those years, his biggest scandal was changing his name to an unpronounceable symbol.
Right.
That was and how many, 1958 to whatever it was, or 2016. That was how long he lived. You know, Mike had all these other scandals, and again, you know, A and B got nothing to do with it, but because I love Mike, I respect Mike. I think Mike was a monster in his own right, but there was just two completely different sides of the coin. They were contemporaries, and that was it.
Right.
But Prince was just like, you see it in certain people, you know, Mozart, Beethoven, you know, and back, you know, I even say Little Richard for his time.
Oh, absolutely.
Monster. The guy was a monster. You know, very underappreciated in his time. Same thing with Prince. Prince's time was like 85, 86 with the Purple Rain era. But he was so underappreciated. You know what I mean? And he'd come back and go down as the times, you know. He was an underground guy, you know. He had his hardcore following, but the guy, you just watch him, watch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My Guitar Gently Weeps. Like, he just came in and owned that solo.
Right.
Just owned it. Like, and made everybody else look bad. And there wasn't no punks. It was Tom Petty, George Winwood. Like, they're heavy duty cats. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, only come in a generation. I mean, he was so far ahead of his time. We're just catching up to his style of music.
Right.
In my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Again,
you know what I mean?
Another alien.
Yes.
You know
yes.
I wasn't from the planet.
Yes, he wasn't from here. He wasn't. It's just, he was on a whole nother level.
All right.
Got some water in here, but.
I got. This is almond milk, by the way.
Okay,
It's not regular
cool.
milk, so you
I'm
need
ready
to
for
partake.
the hot stuff.
Oh yeah, just so you know, he tapped out his almond milk, so.
Yeah, be sparing with your almond milk.
Oh, that's why I got my water. I'm good.
You're rationed.
Be like, kill me.
That's probably too much.
How many? How many?
127,000.
Okay, I was about to say BTUs, but that'd be a lot of BTUs.
BTUs. I'll tell you about the BTUs tomorrow.
Oh man, like blown through underwear. BTU. I had about 5 BTUs last night.
That's too funny.
Almost killed the cat.
Blew the cone right off her head.
She caught the cone. And you're like,
That's horrible.
oh shit.
Poor cat.
Let me try this. See, with the mic now you can hear that. You hear the crying in the
His soul.
Hey, remind me if I gotta go to the bathroom and turn the mic off so they don't hear me crying.
I mean, that'll be a first for this show.
So, what's your day job now? What do you do now? What gets the bills paid?
I'm actually in construction. I'm a union pipe fitter at Toledo's Public Pipe Fitters Local 50. And yeah, I work all over our region fabricating, installing piping systems, repairing piping systems. I do a lot of work at the refineries.
Okay. Did you build that place up like a couple months ago?
No, that was a non-union. To be honest with you, that was a non-union. Yeah.
Just checking.
No. You talking about TRC? Yeah, no, TRC. That's scary stuff over there, man. That fucker got kicked.
Yeah, they get you a little bit.
Yeah.
You gonna touch that
I
milk?
got my lip.
I'll join you.
It does help.
Until it goes away, and then it's.
Yeah, it's not bad. Woo. Good stuff, though.
Yeah, right on. Well, let's keep this train rolling.
Yeah.
Eye of the Scorpion.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The names just get better.
I mean, I gotta clean this one out again. This one's. Oh my God.
Wow.
Anyway,
I gotta blow my nose. This sucker just hit.
so
On your eyes.
Yeah.
how long have you been a pipe fitter? How long have you been out there?
I moved here in 2004. I worked for the TSA for a year, so I got in 2005. Well, yeah, I got in end of 2005. So, yeah, what is it now? 14, 15, 16 years, something like that?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got my 15-year service award, so yeah, about 15 years.
Nice. So you got some seniority over there.
I mean, it doesn't really work on seniority, but yeah, I've been there long enough. I've been there long enough to not know a lot of the new guys and miss a lot of the old guys. So I'm in that middle section right now, you know.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Oh man, I didn't even hit that. So
Yeah.
It was Eye of the Scorpion. Okay, my
Eye of
bad.
the Scorpion. This is like pure scorpion blood.
Is it? All right, let's see.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hot?